What's going on, you guys? Que lo que, it's your girl Liza, ya tu sabe, here back with another video. And today I wanted to talk about something a little different. Today I wanted to talk about a subject that is something I personally struggle with on the day-to-day business, and that is fear. So, let's just hop right into it. My name is Eliza Spots. I have always been fascinated with the mysteries of the mind. I'm a health and life coach, and it is my goal to help expand your mind, see your limitlessness ability, your unlimited ability, and to help spark the change for you towards the right direction of your truth, your light, your love, and your goals. So welcome. I'm out here, as you can see, reflecting, literally reflecting by the water. And as you guys have seen on my channel, I've announced a couple of times that it's really time to start getting back onto YouTube. And it's something that I truly mean. And it's something that I feel it in my heart. And it's a thought that continually comes back into my mind, and often I try to ignore it and set it aside and procrastinate on the issue just because of one thing, which is fear. And so I had to ask myself, I was like, okay, why am I procrastinating? And there's a lot of different reasons for procrastination. It could be either because you really don't like it, or you'd rather be doing something else, or you fear, or there's some sort of like uncomfortable feeling or situation, or some sort of like anticipation of some sort of pain that you could be trying to avoid. And so that's essentially what I wanted to talk about, and that's what fear is. So let's break down fear. So the subject of this title is, what is fear and how can we transcend it? And look, I got a friend coming on, wobbling on over here. So fear, when we break down from the dictionary, and I don't think this is verbatim, I'm gonna wait till this helicopter goes away. So fear, what is fear? What is fear and how do we transcend fear? And so, the first step kind of goes hand in hand. What is fear and how do we transcend it kind of like really help all together? So when we look at fear is the anticipation of pain, of discomfort, of any emotions or feelings that may seem unpleasant to the human mind and to the human body and spirit, etc., etc. And so when we truly understand what pain is, that's when we can really begin to analyze when we truly understand what fear is, that's when we can truly begin to analyze. And look, we got another friend coming on over here. That's when we can truly begin to analyze and transcend our fear. So in a moment, let's say, for example, let me get personal. I've been really afraid to make YouTube videos, and so I asked myself, okay, what am I afraid of? Okay, I'm afraid that maybe you guys won't respond well to it. I'm afraid that I'll look like a fool. I'm afraid that nothing will happen of it. I'm afraid of being rejected. I'm afraid of essentially just negative energy, negative responses from the crowds coming my way because I decided to post something. And so I've been avoiding it for the possibility that could happen. So when, we are looking at our situations and fear begins to arise, we got to ask ourselves, okay, what is it that I'm truly feeling in this moment? What anticipation of pain do I think will come from this? And analyze it, okay? What could happen? It's basically like analyzing your risk, the risk versus risk over reward, or reward over risk, where you like break it down, right? So you break it down, and so you break down a feeling. It could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be frustration, it could be etc., etc. The whole list of of negative emotions is long, but pick your one and break it down even further. Okay, what is that feeling? Sadness. What is the feeling of anger? What is the feeling of frustration? What is the feeling of whatever? Break that down even further, and you realize that it comes down to it's literally just a tension in the body that you are holding. It's something that feels uncomfortable inside of your body. So if we could learn to then sit with that feeling and really feel it fully, instead of trying to repress it, instead of trying to ignore it, instead of trying to shoo it away, abandon it, etc., etc. If we choose to sit with it, sit with the fear, analyze it, hear it out, feel it fully, we can then begin to really start the process of releasing and transcending that fear. Let's give an example. So let's say, for example, I work at a strictly commission job, okay? And so I have to go into work, and I honestly don't know what's going to happen in the day. And there's a part of me that really fears going in and doesn't want to go in and just really wants to procrastinate and put it off, because I really don't know if I'm going to be able to make some money today, because it's really just so much up in the air. Or, I could probably go get a more stable job that's going to give me consistent pay and consistent income. Which, by the way, this is no judgment towards anyone who does anything. This is merely just an example. But the fear that you would want to then overcome is, let's say you don't want to go in because you could be spending your 8 hours doing something else productively, or you could go to this job, this commission job, and have the possibility of failing. When we begin to weigh those pros and cons of the possibility, that's when we can really begin to ease the burden of what is to happen, and realize that there's really nothing that painful about the whole situation in the first place, except for maybe the fact of maybe loss of time. But if you decide to look at it with a clearer lens and perspective, let's say, for example, it's time for me to go into work. I could say, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay the bills. I don't know. That's me looking in the light of a lack-based, fear-based. But if I sit with those feelings and I acknowledge those feelings, yeah, you know what, I very much could come home with nothing today. I very much could just waste 8 hours and not get any sort of return. Now, am I okay with that? So when you really begin to reason and break down the fear and break down the possibility of what you could lose, but also the possibilities of what could be gained, that's when we can really transcend fear. Let's say you go a whole day with making no sales whatsoever, and you come home. You still have that opportunity to sit and look at your experience with a lens of abundance rather than a lens of lack. And meaning, you can look at the experience and find the lesson within it, find the value within it, regardless of what has happened. Or maybe there is some sort of physical abundance that you receive in return, or maybe there's always going to be some sort of return. And we just have to be able to really see it, find it, look at it, and recognize it, and be grateful for it. And so when we move forward with that attitude and that mentality that, yes, we may have an opportunity to lose, but that opportunity to lose, regardless, is going to give us greater lessons of patience, humbling, understanding, I said patience. Hopefully a step towards the right direction if you allow it to become a step in the right direction. But again, it is merely based on your perspective and your lens and what you allow to see or don't allow yourself to see. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I now feel a little bit better, and you guys will be seeing this on YouTube. And I just want to let you know that I transcended my fear of posting myself on YouTube and being vulnerable on YouTube. And it may not sound like a big deal, but for someone such as myself who's such a perfectionist in many ways, it can be really, really difficult to open up in this kind of way. And so I just wanted to thank you and your time and tell you that I appreciate you, and tell you that I believe in you. And I believe in your dreams. I believe that you can accomplish anything that you really set your heart and mind to. And you can transcend all the fear that comes your way and go straight into the obstacle, go straight into the pain, go straight into that fear, feel it, and overcome it. And I wish you the best among the blessings and the best among your journey of when you go throughout and do that. So, signing off. Y'all have a good one. Que lo que ya tú sabes. It's your girl Liza.